To begin our Sunrise Smart Start, some breaking news overnight. Rochester fire crews respond to a fire at a home on Lexington Avenue late last night. This is what our News 8 crew was able to view on the scene. Several fire trucks at the home. Significant damage here to the front of that house could be seen. The firefighters able to get everything under control in about 12 minutes. Though the home is considered vacant, evidence reportedly suggests a squatter had been staying there. They say the cause of the fire is still under investigation. In further breaking news overnight, 5 teens arrested after a stolen vehicle chase and crash in the city just around 2 a.m. where police say they were called to Grand Avenue over the report of a robbery. When they arrived, an unknown amount of suspects had already left the scene in the victim's car, which they stole. About 30 minutes later, the officers say they responded and spotted that stolen vehicle on Cuba Place, tried stopping it, but that is when the chase started. The pursuit ended in the area of Lyle Avenue in North Plymouth when the driver hit a tree. The crash caused significant front-end damage to the stolen car. All 5 teens found at the scene, taken into custody, 3 of which transported to Strong Hospital over complaints of pain from the car accident. Specific charges yet to be determined. Well, turning to the latest updates on what we know so far about this shooter involved in former President Donald Trump's assassination attempt. The FBI now identifies him as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, killed by a Secret Service sniper. However, 2 former classmates of Crooks say he had previously tried joining his high school rifle club, turned away, rejected, and asked never to return on account of being such a bad shot to the point of being dangerous. His motive is not yet identified. Meanwhile, the former president has arrived in Milwaukee for the start of the Republican National Convention today. He announced via social media Trump will not allow the violent attack to change his schedule. The officials from the Republican Party of Wisconsin confirm the RNC will proceed as planned with increased scrutiny on security. The Republican Party of Wisconsin's officials assure the public the event will be safe and timely. President Biden, meanwhile, in an address last night, calls for civility in the wake of this highly contentious election season.
We can't allow this violence to be normalized. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down.
President Biden further says that former President Trump is doing well after having spoken with him Saturday night, offering his condolences to the family of the victim killed during the rally. President Biden says the stakes in the election are enormously high, and although there are inevitable disagreements, the president stressed that, quote, politics must never be a literal battlefield or, God forbid, a killing field, end quote. When President Trump was shot Saturday, the Secret Service leapt into action, safely getting him off stage. It's quite different than the original purpose of the Secret Service. Back on September 6, 1901, President William McKinley was shot in Buffalo while visiting the Pan American Exposition, dying about a week later due to complications from the shooting, which is when President Teddy Roosevelt was sworn in. Our Buffalo sister station stopped by the Theodore Roosevelt inaugural site, where we are told the McKinley assassination was an important turning point in history for the Secret Service.
Interestingly enough, the Secret Service was actually established by Abraham Lincoln on April 14, 1865, mere hours before his own assassination. However, it wasn't until the McKinley assassination of 1901 when the Secret Service was actually charged with the safety of the office of the presidency.
This gun here, used to shoot McKinley, is on display at the Buffalo History Museum. We continue unraveling all sides of this emerging investigation, the shooting of former President Trump and those rally spectators. Political experts in our area now sharing their own insight. Ron Spitzer has what they say might change for the presidential campaign going forward. Ron.
Michaela, the 2 political experts we spoke to tell us they were shocked, appalled, and in disbelief when they saw the news regarding the attempted assassination of former President Trump. They both also cited it as a testament to the division that remains in the country. Kurt Smith is a former speechwriter for George H.W. Bush. With decades of seeing political campaigns firsthand, he says things have changed.
We used to decide our elections the old-fashioned way. We would argue, hopefully not with too much dogma, and then reach our own decisions.
Tim Neeland, a political science professor with Nazareth University, also agrees adding new technology has helped candidates and parties, quote, demonize each other.
I think in some ways we have created over the course of the last generation some great expectations which the government cannot fulfill, at the same time as social media has allowed a kind of democratization of opinion and has helped create this great divide.
As for the campaign moving forward, Smith says the way he sees it, the great silent middle, meaning those voters who do not lean toward a specific candidate, is right now more silent than ever. Michaela.
All right, thank you for that insight, Aran. The Rochester Institute of Technology, an alumnus there, and the class of 2000 graduate, Evan Vucci. He's the photographer behind this iconic and widely shared photo of former President Trump. This one where he's raising his fist in the air immediately following the assassination attempt, making great circulation across news outlets. According to RIT, Vucci graduated with a bachelor's degree in professional photographic illustration. He now works as an Associated Press photojournalist, spending years covering former President Trump. He was on the ground with Trump in Pennsylvania at the rally and says he was directly in front of the stage when those shots first rang out.
At the moment I heard the shots being fired, I knew that this was a moment in American history that had to be documented. I mean, it's our job as journalists to do this work.
Vucci is the 11th RIT alumnus to have won a Pulitzer Prize for his other work, specifically that breaking news photography and images he captured after the killing of George Floyd. We'll, of course, continue updating you as the investigation into this assassination attempt on former President Trump continues. Those latest updates coming to you live on air and as well online at rochesterfirst.com. Time to take another check of our sunrise commute here at 6:53. A look of the west side shows things are just starting to pick up, so account for more cars on the roadways. However, no slowdowns in terms of accidents across 390, 490 and 590. Looking great so far for the start of your Monday. 104 and the Thruway looking great. So just have a great start to your week, everyone. Announcing its inaugural season, the Rochester Royal Ballers, the city's newest women's basketball team, played their very first game over the weekend. Team leaders say the roster includes some of the most talented athletes from all over our area, ready to showcase their skills on the court. We're told the team wants to stand as a symbol of community spirit for women's sports and all young athletes.
We're looking forward to, a lot of excitement, a lot of fan engagement. We're on the road a couple times. We're in Maine, we're in Boston, we're in Mount Vernon. So we're just looking to expand the brand, expand women's sports, expand the culture, and bring Rochester together. It's about unity, and in this trying time with all this craziness going on, we have sports.
Leaders of the game hosted at Roberts Wesleyan University featured halftime and timeout fun activities because they say their big goal is keeping fan engagement at a maximum. Yeah, great to be indoors enjoying that game there, James. Indoors is where we're going to want to be, especially kind of mid to late afternoon.
Yeah, keeping an eye out of the storms. Yes, for sure. Hit or miss, at least around noontime, and then they do pick up steam a little bit in the afternoon. Numbers well into the 80s, could be heat indexes in the low 90s. Yes, severe weather threat, really both today and tomorrow as well. The gusts of wind out ahead of these storms that would maybe trigger a severe thunderstorm warning, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Let's watch for that. Heavy rain, yeah, that could happen as well with a lot of frequent lightning. After today and tomorrow, we start to cool things down. You see Wednesday's high only around 80 degrees. Then we fall mid-70s for Thursday. Really kind of a nice stretch to finish off the week there. And ideally going into a nicer weekend as well. So we'll watch for the storms today and look forward to a nice late in the week.
Oh, certainly looking forward to that beautiful weekend. We just got to hang in there till then. Well, thank you so much, James. Thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update in 30 minutes. CBS Mornings is up next. But for now, we will say have a great morning, have a great day. And thank you for joining us.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.